Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear students, hello, and my class today about science grade 6. And our lesson today, lesson 1, mass and weight. Now we will compare between mass and weight. The conversation between mass and weight, it's about its definition and the units which we use and the tools which we use. About definition, mass, it is amount of matter in an object. Amount of matter in an object. If you have a book, the book contains 100 of papers, so mass of this book 100, the mass of 100 papers. Again, the mass of book, you have a book, it contains 100 papers, its mass equals the mass of the 100 papers in this book. You have a bottle, this bottle contains 1 liter of water, its mass equals the mass of 1 liter of this water. So the mass, it is amount of matter in an object, or the amount of matter that the object contains. But the weight, it depends on the gravitational force. It depends on the gravitational force, depends on the gravity. Gravity اللي هي الجاذبية of earth، جاذبية الأرض. Gravitational force هي الجاذبية بتاعة الأرض. يبقى the weight depend on the gravity. So the weight, it is the gravitational force by which a body is attracted to the earth. Again, the definition of weight, it is the gravitational force by which the body is attracted to the earth. يبقى there is difference between mass and weight. Mass, amount of matter in the object. But weight, the force by which the body attracted, by which the earth attracted the body. By which the earth attracted the body. The earth attracted the body by what force? By the gravity. Gravitational force, and this is called weight. يبقى فرقنا أول حاجة between mass and weight in its definition. Number 2 in conversation between units or measuring units of mass and weight. We can measure mass by gram or kilogram or ton. Gram, kilogram, and ton. This is the units of mass. If this is small masses, we use gram. Big masses like fruits, vegetables by kilogram. Very large masses by ton. This is the units of mass. But in weight, the units in weight, it's called Newton. Newton, the unit of weight, and it depends on or relates to the scientist which his name is Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton, the scientist which discovered the gravity. So the unit of the weight called Newton. Newton, the weight measured by Newton. Newton is the unit of weight. This is number 2 in the units between mass and weight. In number 3, we will compare between the tools which we use in measuring mass and measuring weight. The tool which we use to measure mass, this is the 1 arm scale. Or 2 arm scale. 1 arm scale or 2 arms scale. 1 arm scale, there is a digital scale with 1 arm and a scale with a pointer. يبقى there is 2 types of 1 arm scale, digital scale and with pointer. 1 arm with a pointer بمؤشر. But the 2 arms scale, there is the balance scale. Balance scale with 2 arms, or the sensitive scale. Sensitive scale, this is a scale with 2 arms. يبقى the measuring tools which we use to measure mass, 1 arm scale or 2 arms scale. 1 arm scale like digital scale or scale with pointer. two arms scale like balance scale or sensitive scale. Sensitive scale for measuring the small masses, but balance scale to measure the large masses. This is the tools which we use to measure mass. But what the tool which we use to measure weight? ايه هي التولز الديفايسز اللي احنا بنستخدمها to measure weight? This tool is one device is called spring scale. Spring scale. What is the tool which we use? What is the device which we use to measure weight? Spring scale. This is the spring scale. We have here a spring scale. Spring scale with upper hook to hold it and lower hook to hang it the object. And very important part here, this is the spring. The spring, السلك اللي هنا, الواير اللي هنا, it's called spring scale. And we use this tool, spring scale, to measure weight. Why? لو جه قال لي give reason, we use the spring scale to measuring weight. اشمعنى الspring scale to measure weight? Because the spring scale has this spring, and this spring it expand and stretch يعني بيتمدد by the weight. If the object's weight increase, the stretch of this spring will increase. Why? Because the weight depends on the attraction force of the body. We can see the spring scale, upper hook, lower hook, and the spring. And here the graduation or the numbers like 2 Newton, 4 Newtons, 5 Newtons, 8 Newtons. Okay, so this is the tool which we use to measure the weight. Okay. Now we talk about another part or second part in our lesson. It's about factors affecting on the weight. The weight it changed by changing many things. Mass is constant. الماس ثابتة ودي لازم تاخد بالك منها جدا, especially in the problems. Mass is constant. It doesn't change by changing the place. But the weight change. Why the weight change? Depend on these factors. The weight change by changing the mass of object. It change by changing the planet where the object exists. It change by changing the distance between the object and the center of the planet or the earth. يبقى there is three factors which affecting on the weight. Factor number one, mass of object. The weight change by changing mass of object. How? How the weight change by changing the mass of object? When the mass increase of any object, the attraction force of the body is increased. So there is direct relation between mass and weight. If the mass increase, the weight increase. For example, we have one object. Object have 1 kilogram. Its mass equal 1 kilogram. What is its weight? To calculate the weight, the scientists discover that the weight equal the mass times 10. The weight equal mass times 10. The weight of the object equal its mass times 10. If we have object, its mass 1 kilogram, so its weight will be 1 times 10, it equal 10 Newton. طيب ليه 10؟ Why this number؟ ليه especially 10 اللي اتحطت هنا في الرول بتاعتنا؟ يبقى الرول الأساسية تخلي بالك منها جدا، الرول دي مهمة جدا جدا في البروبلمز. The weight equal mass times 10. بقول why 10؟ ليه؟ النمبر ده عبارة عن إيه؟ النمبر ده عبارة عن الجرافيتيشنال فورس. The gravitational force of Earth it equal 10. هي بالظبط هي 9.8 متر per second square. 9.8 متر per second square. طيب احنا استخدمناها ليه 10؟ بنقربها عشان لما نيجي نعمل تايمز يبقى اسهل لينا. يبقى الرول بتاعتنا بتقول weight equal mass times 10. طيب الماس دي احنا قلنا ان الماس يونتس the unit of mass, gram or kilogram or ton. What's the unit of mass which we use? We use only kilogram. The mass of the object we can use only kilogram. يعني if the mass by gram we change it to kilogram. If the mass by ton we change it to kilogram. يبقى اليونت الوحيدة اللي ممكن ان احنا نستخدم فيها الماس او نستخدم الماس بيها ونقول الميجرنج يونت بتاعت الماس هنا في الرول دي كيلو جرام، ودي مهمة جدا جدا في البروبلمز. طيب الويت equal mass times 10. يعني if we have a body its mass 1 kilogram يبقى will 1 times 10 equal 10 نيوتن. طب if the mass of the object 2 kilo يبقى 2 كيلو times 10 equal 20 نيوتن. يبقى if we have the mass we can calculate weight. mass times 10 we can calculate weight. طيب هو ممكن يعمل العكس، يعني ممكن يجيب الويت يديني الويت equal 100 نيوتن ويقول لي calculate the mass. يعمل العكس. تمام. ايه بقى اللي هيحصل؟ أنا if we have the mass to calculate weight we make mass times 10. But if we have the weight to calculate mass to make or to find the mass we make the weight divides 10. From mass we need weight. We make mass times 10 to produce weight. If we have weight and need a mass, we make weight divided by 10 to produce or to calculate the mass. طيب تعالى نعمل example كده بالأرقام. Mass of object 5 كيلوغرام. The weight يبقى 5 times 10 equal 50. طب 50 نيوتن. If you have 50 نيوتن and we need the mass, we don't know the mass, and if we have the weight 50 يبقى 50 divide by 10 and produce 5. 50 divide 10 produce 5. يبقى من mass لweight times 10. من weight to mass يبقى divided by 10. ده factory number 1. يبقى the first object changes the weight, the mass of the object. If the mass increase of the object, the weight increase. So the relation between mass and weight is direct relation. When one increase, the other increase. This is direct relation. Number 2, factory number 2. The planet where the object exists. يعني إيه؟ يعني if the place it change, if the planet it change, the weight it change. طب ده ليه؟ لأن إحنا في الأول قلنا إن الويت depends on the gravity. طب هل الجرافيتي بتاعت الإيرث like the gravity of the moon or like the gravity on Jupiter or any planet؟ لا. طيب بتأثر بإيه أو إيه اللي بيحصل عشان تتغير الجرافيتي دي؟ If the mass of the object increase, the gravity increase. The mass of the planet decrease, the gravity decrease. تاني. If the mass of the planet, biggest planet is Jupiter, so its gravity is the highest one. If the mass of the planet increase, the gravity increase in this planet. If the mass of the planet decrease, the gravity of this planet decrease. طب تعالى نشوف عندنا compare between Earth and the moon. Earth and moon. The mass of Earth is bigger than mass of moon. So the gravity in Earth bigger than the gravity on moon. طيب يبقى when the mass increase the gravity increase. طب احنا لما نيجي نعمل calculate للويت هنلاقي كمان الويت on Earth is bigger than the weight on moon. طب يجي يقول لي give reason. Give reason the weight on Earth bigger than weight on moon. Why? Why weight on Earth of object is bigger than weight on moon? Because the gravity of Earth is bigger than the gravity of moon. طب افرض قال لي ده give reason. يعني قال لي gravity of earth bigger than gravity on moon. Why? Because the mass of earth is bigger than the mass of moon. يبقى if the mass of a planet increase, its gravity increase and its weight on this planet increase. طب تعالى نعملها العكس. If the mass of the planet decrease, its gravity decrease and the weight on this planet will decrease. ها understand؟ يبقى في relation ما بين mass of planet, its gravity and the weight on this planet. فرقنا ما بينهم. طيب الجرافيتي of moon, gravity of moon equal 1/6 of gravity of earth. يعني the gravity of moon equal 1/6 of gravity of earth. الجرافيتي of moon سدس الجرافيتي of earth. طب عشان كده احنا قلنا الجرافيتي بتأثر على مين؟ بتأثر على الويت. يبقى انا لو انا جيت احسب weight of earth, we have weight of earth and we need weight of moon. هنعمل ايه؟ ده اللي هنشوفه دلوقتي. If we have weight on earth and we need weight on moon, ايه اللي هيحصل لو انا معايا weight on earth and we need on moon, weight on moon؟ هعمل ايه؟ هعمل divided 6 weight on earth and weight on moon. If we have weight on earth, to calculate or produce the weight on moon, we make weight on earth divide 6. هاخد ال weight on earth اعمله divide 6 to produce weight on moon. طيب ممكن يعمل العكس. We have weight on moon. To calculate weight on earth يبقى هنعمل times 6. weight on moon smaller than weight on earth. يبقى لو معايا weight on earth اعمل divide 6 اجيب weight on moon. لو معايا weight on moon اعمل times 6 عشان اجيب weight on earth. تعال نعملها بالنمبرز كده. مثال if the weight on earth equal 60 نيوتن. 60 نيوتن weight on earth 60. طب عشان اجيب weight on moon يبقى 60 divided by 6 equal 10 نيوتن. 60 divided by 6 equal 10 نيوتن. طب تعالى نعملها العكس. If we have weight on moon 10 نيوتن. To calculate weight on earth اعمل times 6 يبقى 10 times 6 equal 60. تاني relation ما بين weight on earth weight on moon. weight on earth لو معايا weight on earth and we need weight on moon هعمل divide by 6. طب if we have weight on moon times 6 to produce weight on earth. تهيألي اتفهمت. طيب ممكن يعمل ايه؟ ممكن في problem زي ما هناخد دلوقتي هنحل في problem يبدأ يربط ما بين factory number 1 و factory number 2. يعني ممكن يديني mass of object ويطلب weight on earth and weight on moon. هنشوف دلوقتي هتنفع ازاي او هتحصل ازاي. هاخد مثال. An object, example, an object, its mass on earth equal 12 kilogram. Calculate. Number 1, mass on moon. Number 2, weight on earth. Number 3, weight on moon. تاني problem اللي معانا. There is object its mass on earth equal 12 kilogram. بيقول لي calculate احسب mass on moon, weight on earth and weight on moon. تعالوا مع بعض هنشوف هنحل دي ازاي. To solve this problem we have the mass of air 12 كيلوغرام. طب نمبر 1 في الحاجات اللي هو طالبها ماس اون مون. طيب احنا خدنا في الاول او قلنا في الاول ان الماس اون ايرث doesn't change. طب حتى لو طلعت اون مون، يعني حتى لو طلعت على القمر الماس ما بتتغيرش؟ تمام، ما بتتغيرش. mass is constant. يبقى mass on moon equal 12 كيلوغرام. ليه قلنا equal 12 كيلوغرام؟ لانها ما اتغيرتش. mass on earth هي mass on moon like 12 كيلوغرام، نفس الرقم. طيب number 2 weight on earth. To calculate weight on earth we need what? We need the mass on earth. We have mass on earth 12 kilo. How is the weight? What is the value of the weight on earth? We make what? قلنا ان weight equal mass times 10. هي دي الرول اللي هنستخدمها. weight equal mass times 10. بس اتاكد ان الماس بالكيلوغرام. ايوه بالكيلوغرام، دي 12 كيلوغرام. طيب يبقى هعمل ايه؟ weight on earth equal mass times 10. يبقى الماس اللي عندي اللي هي 12 كيلوغرام هعمل لها times 10 equal 120 نيوتن. خلي بالك من اليونت بتاعت الويت، نيوتن. يبقى احنا عملنا ايه؟ خدنا الماس عملنا لها times 10 طلعت 120 نيوتن. ليه؟ لان ده الويت اون ايرث. طب لو انا عايز ويت اون مون نمبر 3 he need weight on moon. طب what is the relation between weight on earth and weight on moon? weight on moon عايز weight on moon يبقى هاخد weight on earth اللي احنا طلعناه اللي هو 120 اعمله divided by 6 and calculate it equal 20 نيوتن. 120 divided by 6 equal 20 نيوتن. يبقى احنا كده قدرنا نحسب ايه؟ we have mass on earth. mass on moon نفس النمبر هو 12 كيلو لان الماس constant fixed value. طيب weight on earth عملنا times 10 للماس، خدنا الماس عملنا لها times 10 طلعت 120. طيب عايزين الويت اون مون اعمل ايه؟ اخد الويت اون ايرث اللي انا جبتها، ماليش دعوه بال 12 دي، انا هاخد ال 120 اللي احنا طلعناها اللي هي الويت اون ايرث واعمل لها ديفايدد باي 6 اطلع الويت اون مون. ها understand؟ We talked about factory number 1 and the factory number 2. Now factory number 3. The distance between the object and the center of the planet. What this means? Distance مسافة ما بين الأوبجكت and the center of the planet. يعني إيه الكلام ده؟ يعني if you stand on the Earth's surface now the gravity is the maximum value. أنت واقف على الأرض تبقى الجرافيتي maximum. طب بدأت أنت تبعد، كل ما تبعد كل ما تطلع لفوق the gravity decrease. يبقى by increasing the distance the gravity decrease. The gravity decrease. When the distance increase تزيد the gravity decrease. ليه؟ أنا ببعد، أنا طلعت في بالون وطلعت لفوق، كل ما طلعنا لفوق في البالون كل ما الجرافيتي تقل. طب هي الجرافيتي دي هتأثر على ايه؟ هتأثر على الويت. ما هي دي من الفاكتورز اوف ويت. يبقى كل ما الجرافيتي تقل if the gravity decrease the weight decrease. Understand؟ تمام. يبقى if the distance increase by increasing the distance the gravity decrease so the weight of the object decrease. وده factory number 3. يجي عليها give reason مهم جدا جدا. The weight of your body or the weight of the object in a balloon smaller than the weight of this body on Earth's surface. في البالون أقل on Earth's surface. أقول له ليه؟ أقول له because when the distance increase the gravity decrease and the weight of the body decrease. يعني لو اداها لي بالأرقام قال لي مثلا your weight on a balloon 70 نيوتن. on a balloon انت في بالون فوق. what's your weight on Earth's surface؟ واداني تشوسز كده ارقام، قال لي 70 ولا 69 ولا 71. هيبقى ايه؟ في البالون 70 يبقى اكيد on earth's surface bigger than 70. يبقى انا هدور على الرقم اللي اكبر من ال 70 هيبقى هو 71. لها علاقه برول او قاعده او حاجه كده؟ لا، هي انا بعرف بس بشوف الرقم الاكبر. هو اداها لي في البالون 70 يبقى on earth's surface bigger than 70 يبقى 71. تمام؟ وده يبقى كده خلصنا الفاكتورز which affecting on weight. وان شاء الله نكون فهمنا الليسون بتاعنا واستفدنا منه على قد ما نقدر. هنبقى نشتغل بروبلمز تانية ونشتغل في يونت 2 اللي هي thermal energy ان شاء الله. شكرا.